All right, so here's a couple of ways where you can start spending less money. Angie?
Well, I think that we need to stop comparing ourselves to our neighbor.
So this is our weekend breakfast. It's muy rico. And just so you know, those are gluten-free pancakes and freshly made butter. And whoever heard of pancakes with whipped cream? But yes, now you've heard it.
No sugar in any of this.
But no sugar, yeah. No sugar, no white flour. Yeah, that's how you stay young and springy. Hi, welcome to Frank and Angie's channel, where we talk about all things regarding your lifestyle. Retire early, retire better, at home or abroad. So today we're going to tackle something about
the more money you make, the more you spend, but that's just wrong.
Spending and spending habits. This is a point of contention, I think, within the community that a lot of people have difficulty with. And it's an area that we have excelled at and overcome. And we've made several videos about our attitude towards this. But I wanted to go a step beyond that today and talk about, in light of the current events of our day, because we're hearing a lot about how and I'm not denying, the good numbers and the good aspects of the economy and all the great things that have been done to the economy and the, make America great again and all that. I'm not negating or denying any of the positives that are within this economy, the full employment and all those things. At the same time, I don't think we should ignore the idea that there are nefarious characters in the background attempting to make things different and change that positive outlook. And they're like cancer cells. They're out there in the background trying to figure out how to devour your body, okay? So that when we take a look at this subject with a little bit of a more careful and deeper outlook, then we understand that it's actually an issue of safety. Safety. It's not just spending. I mean, we can have all of the things that we want to have. We just need to learn new habits, which we can share and help people do. We're thinking about doing a membership area where people can come in and we can share all of these ideas together and get people excited about having a life of abundance without the austerity and deprivation that's normally associated with frugalism and minimalism and all these things. I used to think, because a lot of people's way of thinking, especially within the believer community, is beyond, like when you die. Okay, let's just say when you die, these things will happen. There's a lot of focus on when you die. But we know that our God is a God of the living, and therefore we need to focus on when we're alive, because there's nothing, once we're gone, and that's that, right? So I want to be focusing on what we can do today to make our lives more resilient to the potential and possibility. It's like insurance. People like to think about insurance as something that I probably won't need, but in any event, if something does happen, then I'm covered. Now that's another whole other video. That's a whole different discussion, but I wanted to make that analogy for people to understand that having this kind of a skill is not just about the superficial materialism aspect of it. There's a lot more to it than that. It makes people and families resilient. I have said before that when the 2008 crash came, we never felt it. We never felt the 2008 crash. Absolutely nothing changed for us during the crash because, number one, we were not in debt. Now, these skills will make you stronger and make you more able to also stay out of debt and even get out of debt if that is something that you're trying to do. And I know that a lot of people are able to engage in self-sacrifice, but for others, it's a little bit more difficult. And so having these types of skills, it's the kind of thing that helps you in all of these aspects, because once you make the foundation strong, then no matter what kind of storms come, if the foundation is strong, then the house stands, right? So to get back to the discussion about spending money, and the more you make and the more you spend, this is a habit that will destroy families. And that's why I said all that. Eventually it will destroy families, because when times are good, it's destroying you even when times are good, in the sense that you have lack of fulfillment, and which when storms come, when things change, if anything at all changes, it makes things more difficult for you. You have a scenario that is on shaky ground with a shaky foundation. And even for those that feel like they have the habit itself is bad enough, but they have enough resources to withstand it. In other words, financially well off, financially independent people.
That's who spends the most money.
Even for them, you have a situation where things can change for anybody. I mean, pride goes before a fall, and things can change to a degree that people are not expecting. And a lot of people were left, the stock market could crash big time, and I know that's always could happen, and I don't want to scare people into thinking that. I'm just saying that being strong and resilient is a virtue, and it is a safety net. And okay, so at the height of our consumption lifestyle, which was when I had just started in my business career, we were spending the equivalent of today's dollars, $75,000 a year. And we weren't doing anything at all self-sufficient. We were just doing everything, just go to the store, throw stuff in the cart, don't even shop, don't pay attention. I mean, to a degree, and mostly. We just didn't have a frame of mind.
I just don't think we really knew how to do it yet. We were just learning, and it takes a while. You just learn a little bit at a time as you go. We were young, so.
That's right. We were in our early 20s, and I embarked on my business career, and we had all this cash flow coming in, and so the people start spending up to the level that they're earning. It's just human nature. The more you have, the more you spend.
It was fun then, but now when I look back at it, I think how stupid it was.
Right. You didn't know it was stupid back then, because
No.
you didn't have the depth of experience to know how stupid you were being. But yeah, little by little, we had a turning point and started making a study of it. Our life completely changed. All right, so here's a couple of ways where you can start spending less money. Angie?
Well, I think that we need to stop comparing ourselves to our neighbor.
Comparing to other people. That's difficult. It depends on the lifestyle, I think, that one has. And it's not that it can't be done. It can be done. You have to consider everything we're saying in this video and just really develop a conviction about it, and then it won't be so difficult. But I do think that the lifestyle that a lot of people live, and what I mean by lifestyle, I mean the peer pressure that's present in everyday life for people that are, for example, going to an employer and being surrounded by other associates that drive, these kinds of cars, or going to school where people wear these kinds of clothes, or what have you. There are these kinds of situations that are particular to people's lifestyles. Mostly, I would think that it's a metropolitan type lifestyle, a city lifestyle, whereas perhaps, in my opinion, and you don't have to go way out in the boonies for this. I mean, we used to live a 10-minute drive from town, and even a 10-minute drive, we were in an area where people had 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 acres. And so, and with the homeschooling and all, it is a little bit easier to set yourself apart from all that peer pressure and all of that cultural pressure to conform. And the other thing,
Number 2, how about trying to just learn new skills in the household to help you save money every month, like cooking with more fresh whole foods instead of buying everything packaged and coming out of the freezer.
Analyze. Let's get analytical. Like when you buy a packaged product, you read what's in it, and you say, "All right, well, there's corn syrup in it. There's preservatives. Okay, I didn't know that, or maybe I wasn't paying attention, or I don't want those. What else is in it? We've got whatever it is. Well, I can get those ingredients. I can get those ingredients. I can learn to mix them, what have you, and just little by little start. And nowadays, with all the cooking shows and the videos and everything, it's so much easier than in the old days, although you could always get a book, books, and so it's a lot quicker and easier today.
I want to share one of the ways that we saved money when we moved into our house in the country that was on 3.5 acres. It didn't have a wood stove. We were turning on the heat all the time in our...
So when we first moved into that house, you're right, I'm thinking about it.
The heating bill was atrocious. It was like $400 for our electricity.
We had a wood stove in the previous home, and we did not have occasion to immediately install a wood stove. And so we just kind of casually ignored it, and to our peril, because when the electric bill came in, it was over $400 for the month. And so, of course, we immediately installed a wood stove.
They did the chimney and everything. They had to cut a hole in the roof to do the chimney and everything.
Yeah, we did all that ourselves.
They just read about how to do it, and then they did it. So for 10 years, we had that wood stove.
Okay. So this customer I had that was asking me about how can I become more self-sufficient or less dependent, and but my answers would be to just little by little, as we've discussed in this video, just take one or two things and start doing them yourself. And do it yourself is such a naughty word in the fire community that there's bloggers that don't even use the term anymore. They use a different term. So
why is do it yourself a naughty word?
I think it's because it's cultural, because Americans spend too much time working, and therefore when they come home they have no time to do anything themselves, and therefore they know this, and therefore they are not willing to entertain even the thought of do it yourself. How do you get out of that? Because it's a vicious cycle. I mean, the more you're on a treadmill and on the spending, consumer spending, maybe debt, maybe just work lifestyle in order to keep up a lifestyle, the more you ignore and deflect ideas about doing things yourself. So what we're doing here is we're encouraging you to at least take one or two small things and in a small way start doing something yourself, and then graduate and progress from there.
Right, so just a quick peek here on what's going on here. I'm making my own homemade cream cheese right here. The reason for that, I mean, it's so easy just to go to the store and get it. I know when I used to buy the cream cheese in the States, I used to have to avoid it because it was really hard to find. It was really hard to find a brand that didn't have a bunch of chemicals in it, and for some reason the cream cheese always had all these chemicals in it, which is really bad for your health. I think it's because it has to sit on the shelf, and so you get a double whammy this way, making it yourself. You not only get a product that has no chemicals in it, but it's also super fresh, so it tastes better. And you can't argue with that.
So we just want to encourage you. And was there anything else?
Well, there's so many ways that you can save money. It's not even funny.
That's a whole different video, though. You could do like 10 things, that
right.
That you can save money, do it yourself. But it could be actually 50 things. Thanks for watching our video, and thank you for supporting our channel and making comments below. Let us know your thoughts, and have a nice day.